Isang international freelance photographer si Mark Malanta.
Yup, pero alam mo ba, Meg, yung original profession niya ay doktor.
Wow! Doctor na, surfer pa, photographer pa.
Yup. And even though he is trained in family medicine, hindi pa rin niya mapigilan balikan ang kanyang first love, which is of course surfing and surfing photography.
Hi, I'm Mark Malanta. I'm the Communications Manager and Public Relations for Aloha Board Sports and Free Surf Incorporated. I'm a surf photographer. I started photography at the age of 14. I got my first analog SLR. It was a Pentax in 1984. Ever since then I've been shooting film, always documenting sports, photojournalism. That's always been my forte. I've been a surfer my whole life. I grew up in the surfing industry. I grew up on the beach. So it just became natural just to cover anything that involved the surf industry. So the natural progression was to become a surf photographer. The MD part of my life is the alter ego. Basically I did what everybody wanted me to do. Not to say I didn't want medicine. In my career hunt, I always liked the sciences. I pursued medicine. I was a chemistry and physiology major in college. I did the next step, I did research, and I did medicine. Came back, took the boards. I trained in family medicine, but what I started to notice was in this path, this hunt for medicine, I stopped surfing. And coincidentally with that, everything started to decline. You know, my body, my health, my overall happiness. So to make the longest story as simple as possible, when I decided to do a full 180, leave the sciences and go back to the arts, it's when my life picked up again. It's when I got healthier again, I got happier again. And photography was the art or the method in which I was able to, pick up the pieces and find where I really wanted to be, which was surf photography. Well, surf photography is one type of photography that's not well understood by the masses. In the surfing industry, in commercial surf photography, people tend to identify with the imagery, but if you look at mass market appeal, most people don't understand surf photography. Well, typically your water shooter does also shoot from land, but not all land photographers can shoot from the water. What makes my photography different is I get up close and personal, I shoot with a fisheye, so I tend to have to be within inches of the rider. So all my surf imagery puts you right in the heart of the action. You can feel it, you're in the water with me. So when you see my images, you feel like you're also floating alongside the surfer. The thing I ask, and I'm actually polling for people to come help me out, to kind of join me or apprentice me, is you've got to be a good swimmer. You've got to know your limitations and know your abilities, meaning don't swim in waters that are far too dangerous than what you can handle, but just be a competent swimmer. Be able to adjust or adapt to any wave height and know not to panic. Because there have been moments where I thought, wow, maybe I'm a little bit over my head, but when you restore back and you think back and you collect yourself and you realize, I'm a good swimmer, I know my limitations, I know my abilities, it's never that dangerous. So it's quite easy. And you got to have one of these. SPL water housing. I shoot everything. Over the years I've shot with many systems, but my gear of choice has always been Pentax, primarily because of the size, the durability, and the quality of the equipment. One thing most people don't realize is, despite me placing it in a housing like this, all my gear is waterproof to begin with. So there have been instances where my housing breached, water got in, but the camera is safe. I can shoot in any type of weather. I can shoot in the rain. I can drop my cameras in water, and they're fine. But to me, it was the best solution. You take waterproof cameras, you put them in the right housing, and you can shoot anything.
Si Cage Gozu naman ay isang avid traveler na nawili rin sa surfing. At dahil nakita niya ang ganda ng Pilipinas at ng ibang bansa sa pag-surf, nahilig na rin siya sa pag-take ng pictures.
At ngayon, kilala na si Cage sa surf community dahil sa kanyang wonderful surfing shots.
Hi, I'm Cage Gozun and I'm a surf photographer. I started shooting when I was 8. I was given a camera by my dad and it's just been like that ever since. I like the idea of capturing a moment forever. It was by accident. I'm actually a freelance writer and I did a travel segment and that's how it happened. I started surf photography late 2000 but I didn't really get into it until about 2001, 2002. Back in 2003, I was in Siargao and this really big swell came through and I was the only one from the media who was there. So my friend Louie was the only one with video and I was the only one with photos of what we still call Big Wednesday 03 in Siargao. I've never been trained, I've never taken a class, and I think the fact that I shoot by instinct makes my pictures a little more different. I use a Nikon D200 with a telephoto lens for long shots and the portrait lens for close-up and lifestyle. I've never used anything other than Nikon, and I don't think I'm about to switch anytime soon. Well, another friend who is also a really good photographer once told me that it's the Indian, not the pana. So don't be afraid if your gear doesn't look as high-tech as everybody else's. Just go out there and you shoot, because it's really about your point of view and how you see the world captured in photos. And if you're really interested in doing surf photography, I really suggest getting in the water and surfing, because you have to know what you're shooting. A friend once said that surfing is his way of talking to God, and that's kind of true. Every time I'm on a wave, it feels like I've never been happier. My name is Kage Gozun, and you're watching Camera Geek TV.